What's going on, everyone? Slovosh here, bringing you a cosmic trial with Raccoon. There's a few people I know out there that are trying to pass the trial with Rocket, and I just wanted to see if I could do it myself, because I've never gotten him through, and that is one of my goals eventually, is to get everyone through the trial. But just wanted to give it a shot, and if I succeed, then maybe they can emulate what I did, and then I will go over the build very quickly of what I used, which is pretty cut and dry. So let's hop in here and see what we can fucking do, what we can accomplish. Not wasting any time on these bitches dropping down my shit. My goal with Rocket right now, at least what I'm thinking is to just basically let the turrets do everything they can. And since they're free with my passives, my specializations I should say, I'm gonna just try to do my best of casting them about as much as I can, especially since some of the things can actually be used as additional damage. So I'm just letting these turrets kind of chew away at things. I'm not really going to get into the fray too much. One of the things I noticed, and if you guys are lacking on DPS, I wanted to suggest trying a few things that maybe you are just overlooking, which is one, trying to use the warp turret, the recast of it, so that the first one explodes as a source of damage. Let me get my shield back up. And then also resummoning Groot into an area should be a decent spike of damage, because he'll turn into that ball form and kind of just headlong rush straight into people. But I'm basically just using Rocket's tunneling move to stay... Oh, fuck, I missed all those. To stay off of the radar of these guys. That's my goal, at least. Let's see how well I'm doing at that. Just basically surrounding that bodyguard. I hit him with some of these. Casting Groot again in for more damage. Try to position the time warp turret right next to people. That's what I've been trying to do in like the high town and stuff. That way when I recast it, it blows up and does some additional damage. Just another source, I think. I'm saving my ultimate for the second wave. And I'm trying to manage my spirit best I can, because it's a little spirit intensive when you're just spamming stuff all the time. And then also on the left click, I have 1 point in the gravity mine to give her, or whoever I'm fighting really at the time, vulnerability, which I think would help tremendously with some more DPS. So, just make sure we're reapplying this vulnerability every so often. Just basically running around here non-stop, dropping these fucking turrets. They're all free when you have a specialization. And then casting Groot again multiple times to just try and really get her to like take extra damage from him rolling in, or these turrets just blasting away. Okay. So, clock's already ticking. Make sure you get your ass over here. You'll need every second, from what I understand. Alright, so for these guys, Don't be shy with your signature either. I'm really surprised by how quickly that comes back in. And Groot actually does huge AoE damage when you recast him. So that's like on a 4-second cooldown. That's a ridiculous source of damage that maybe you're not utilizing. I don't know if it costs anything either. I'm trying to take on too many fronts right now. Yeah, if I could suggest one thing, it'd probably be bring a core with some extra spirit on it. That would probably help tremendously, actually. Team up I'm using right now is it is, what's her name? Magic. Sorry, I am deep focused. So again, if you're taking too much heat, just use his ability to kind of go stealth, drop in some shit as you're passing through. Keep casting Groot as you need. Why is it still locking on me? That is some bullshit. Okay, so after the first wave of Sentinels, I'm going to use my ultimate. That's my goal. Really need to start pouring it on him here. Okay, there we go. Ooh, took a big hit there. Get in their group. Okay, so now I'm going to use his ultimate. I honestly have no fucking experience using him at all, so I'm just kind of spamming every button I can. Okay, so we're back to the second Sentinel wave. 50 seconds to go. Really need to pour on the DPS. I think we're gonna get it. There she is, guys. Alrighty. So, that is how you should maybe attempt to beat the trial with Rocket. I'm using ILAS, and none of these are blessed, by the way, and I don't even have his summoning legendary. I just have a Gungnir on. We'll go over gear real quick. ILAS, I'm using the Orders of the Scroll Empire. You can get both of these for pretty cheap. Flag, just a placeholder. The +1 to skill really helped a lot. I got a Mole Man staff. This could be replaced with the armor relic that is good for summoners. I forget the name of it. Just a good stack of armor alternate reality relics. I'm using a Beastmaster, Uru with defense. Again, Gungnir, not really what I should have been using. I should have been using the Trident. That probably been way better. I got a Demon Band with damage, health, and intelligence, and energy damage, since that's his main other source of damage. I got the Spear of Gorilla Tribe. You can get these really easy in Midtown. Sinister's Kurios. Those you can either get from Sinister or the Terminal or whatever. His own slot 3, his own slot 4. I couldn't actually find in time his own slot 5, but I'm sure it'd be better than the Mask of Algrim. So, yeah, my gear kind of sucks, actually. Crit damage, and looks like my grade 3 is kind of shitty. Honestly, guys, for the core, I would highly recommend Invulnerability and Medkit, Life and Spirit on Medkit. That would have been way better, because then I could have just Medkitted to get his spirit back up, and I could have poured out a lot more damage. So using that tactic that I just did, the only way I'd say I could improve this is obviously get my core better to be invulnerable and to have the Life and Spirit on Medkit. That would help a lot. Got a Nick Fury insignia with some crit damage. I got a +3 intelligence pet. That's probably the only stat that really matters on this guy. That's pretty much the gear of it. Obviously, some of it is suboptimal. As far as the Omegas go, real quickly, basically everything I did was on just this one screen. I did 20 points in Shadow King's Possession, 20 points in Merge and Possess, 10 points Supreme Intelligence, 1 point into Overmind's Power. I did Terrigen Crystals as a prerequisite to get to Amphogenesis. These are huge, actually, buffs. And then I think I kept, let's see, I think the only other points I put in were 10 in Stark Tech. Now, I have a lot of Omegas, so if you were to focus on like one thing, I would probably just try to get your intelligence up as high as you can, so maybe focus on these 3 right here. But this is a really good one for damage and health, but you're summoning so many freaking turrets, it doesn't even matter about health, so it's basically just the damage aspect. These were just point dumps up top. Hero synergies, I'm using Magic, I'm using Mr. Fantastic. Of course, I started in the center. Let's start at the top. Black Widow, because the guys aren't going to be targeting that much because you're going to be stealth. Cable just for crit. Captain Marvel for energy damage when you're just standing back using the Flarking gun if you got Spirit to handle it. Cyclops for experience, but in the trial, maybe you should put on someone who gives you more health or Spirit or something. For me, I probably should have switched that to Storm. That would have been better because I would have had a lot more Spirit to work with. Let's see. Iron Man for ranged and energy for my basic, my signature and my spender in the Gravity Mine. They're all energy based. So again, Magic, fantastic. Squirrel Girl, Star-Lord for crit chance on energy moves, and then Wolverine because just good for endgame. Now, this build was basically just retrofitted from my gun build that I had a video up already on my channel. What I did is I just wiped off some of the gear. Actually, most of it's sitting right here, and just put on summoner-based stuff that I had laying around. So basically, my build, without following any guide at all, it's very cut and dry. You're focusing on the Galactic Guardian tree. I did Max Groot, Max Blaster Turret, Max Time Warps Turret, Max Suppression Turret, 1 point into Gravity Mine because it adds vulnerability, and that's what I was left clicking on guys to make sure they had a vulnerability applied to them. That way they take 10% more damage from all sources. So that's a huge way of boosting your DPS. If you're not doing that, maybe try doing that. I just kept on my left click. The DPS per second between the plasma launcher and the Flarking gun was huge. So I kept it the Flarking gun just because this thing is easily castable for a couple seconds whenever you need to just dump some more damage on. It's really actually hard hitting, and it hits a cone of area, guys. So for outside of trial bullshit, it's probably going to be really good for trash clear. So 20 points in that. Let's see, I got 1 point in the drill burrow. This is your dash, if you will, but it also gives you stealth, which is huge because then you don't take damage. So if you're dying in the trial a lot, try burrowing more in staying stealth. So you can burrow and then run around stealth for a while. As soon as you become unstealth, burrow again, kind of thing like that. And just no one can hit you right now. So your turrets are basically just meat shields and doing damage without the guys really knowing who to hit. You can't die if they can't see you, unless you're in an AoE, I suppose. But let's get back to tree. So 1 point in drill. I decided I'm probably not going to be flying around much because the drill's way better, I think. But you could do what you like. 20 points into his damage passive. So this one is going to give you some extra ability to see people, damage rating, crit and hit, brute, dodge, blah, 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 dexterity. So max 20 points in that, and then I did 20 points in Fleet Slayer. This is his signature. You can shoot this 4 times before it goes on cooldown. So I was using that a lot in my DPS rotation, even on guys who really probably don't need it, just to speed it up, because you saw how close it came down into that trial. You need to be in the zones that you're fighting guys and kill them as fast as you can. If that means you're going to pop them with one of the nukes out of the Fleet Slayer, then so be it. So with specialization of battery, which is basically the summon specialization, it makes all of your turrets not cost anything. So that's a good benefit, I suppose. Now, guys, I didn't have anything else really that was poking out to me, and I wanted to keep it to 1 skill bar except for my ability to regen my shield. So I put everything he's got remainder point wise, the dump of the points, into his passive for combat shield. It just helps you absorb more damage, essentially. So basically it chews away at your shield before it goes to you, just like some other people in the game that have that function. Who am I thinking of? Emma Frost. Yeah, the combat shield works the same as hers, so this will chew down before it hits your life. So if this can absorb more, then you effectively have more life. So that was my thought behind it. And then also, if this is an activated ability, it instantly regens all of your shield capacity. So it's a great way to say survivability a little bit more. This has got a 10-second cooldown. I keep it on bar 2 on a skill or a button that's easy to reach. So if I want to hit 2 and then I can pop it, kind of thing, I'd get full shield back, and then it's on cooldown. So you can keep your survivability up pretty good that way. Rocket's eyes are really creepy. They're like bright black. They have no color at all. Anyways, guys, that's the Cosmic Trial with Summoner Rocket Raccoon. This could probably be exponentially easier with Deadpool team up, because Magic right now, all she does is just summon some extra, I guess, like demons to help you out, kind of thing. That was basically the focus. She does regen you some health, so that's kind of a plus, but I'm sure Clea or Rescue or Deadpool would all be a possibility. But if you're just looking for more guys to be distracted by people, Magic isn't a half bad idea. Deadpool, obviously, with his server lag, would probably be really good in the trial, as always is. You can't take damage, guys can't move away. But again, guys, just for extra DPS, if that's really where you're lacking, you're running out of time, try recasting Time Warp Turret over and over again. You can see you cast it once and it stands there and does its thing, but it says energy damage 400,000 to 646,000 when the turret dies. Well, these things last for 4.5 minutes and they have shitloads of health. So how the fuck is it going to die? Well, it's going to die because you can only have one of these, and you cast it again and that one blows up. So anyone near that one gets blown up. So it's basically like a landmine. That's how I kind of treat it, because the other effects of this are okay, but if you really want the damage, you just basically keep recasting it next to your targets. So that's a huge source of damage. You can see those energy damage numbers there. You can just keep dropping that next to the boss. That's on, a 4-second cooldown. And then Groot. See how it says charge damage? It does physical damage. Obviously, he's your melee, tank pet. But if you recast him while he's still alive, he'll do a roll. So let's put him up here on these barrels. He'll roll to those barrels and do a big-ass smash. That charge roll damage will go to whoever you want and do an AoE, like, ring damage. That's actually, again, pretty impressive damage. So between the Time Warp, and recasting group multiple times, you can add a lot of DPS to your rotation, as well as using maybe Gravity Mine for more vulnerability. And then you know, if you have an abundance of spirit, which I did not, you could obviously tweak that to be better. You could use the Flarkin gun, and then don't be shy with your Fleet Slayer. And basically just let your turrets do their work. I mean, just stay hidden. You don't need to spam. That's a problem of mine. I have a tendency of spamming dash, but he's invisible right now. The guys can't hit you when you're invisible, so you don't have to necessarily spam it, but just make sure you're staying stealth. As long as you're not doing something that breaks stealth, you don't need to re-enter the dash until it's done. But that is the Cosmic Trial with Rocket. I know I've said that twice now. I'm sure you're getting really annoyed with that. But anyways, guys, I'm going to bring him into Cosmic. I might play around with him a little bit more, but for those of you struggling with Rocket to get him through the trial as a summoner, maybe try those few tips. If you don't have the greatest of gear, you don't even need the blessings. I didn't. So I don't know. If you have a lot of Omegas, that would definitely help. If you don't, you probably will need your things blessed. That's probably the trade-off. I can get away with a few more things because I have almost 8,000 Omegas. So just take that as it is, guys. Hopefully that helped a little bit. If that did help, please let me know it helped you in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up, a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And hope you guys are enjoying the game. I'll see you next time.